Hello, this is Mr. Joseph with another Bible study. Today it is looking at the sixth Sunday in Ordinary Time, February 15th. So this Sunday coming, our readings are focusing on the theme of choosing God's wisdom and the radical nature of holiness over the world system. So as this Sunday directly precedes and begins the Lenten season, or Ash Wednesday, where it starts on February 18th. These readings will act as a direct challenge to examine our consciousness. Not just what we are doing wrong, but what we are failing to do, the sins of omission, or the impure intentions that they have harbored. So we're looking at the gospel message here in Matthew chapter 5, beginning at verse 17 through 37. Jesus declares that he has not come to destroy or abolish the law, but to bring it to its intended completion, its fulfillment. He affirms the permanent value of the law while establishing and indicating a shift from legalism to the spirit of the law, the intent of the law itself. He pushes us to go to a higher righteousness. Jesus warns that for the disciples to enter the kingdom of heaven, their righteousness must exceed that of the Pharisees and the scribes, moving beyond merely avoiding sins that can be seen on the outside to the transforming in the mind of removing the intention of those sins from the start with. Eternal transformation is what Jesus is talking about here. He's talking about as he gives examples of how the law is fulfilled in the mind. Anger versus murder. It is not enough not to murder. You must not harbor the anger or the contempt or insulting thoughts, the thoughts themselves. He talks about the same way for lust and adultery. Looking at someone with lust is adultery in the heart. Jesus condemns divorce, emphasizing that sacredness in marriage itself. And as we get into this daily application that we have in our lives today, this reconciliation that Jesus talks about with others over religious activities or church. He says, go first to be reconciled with your brother. This lesson is that relationships take precedence over ritualistic actions. Lust and anger. Jesus speaks of cutting off a hand or plucking out of an eye. He's using this hyperbolic language here to emphasize that we must take radical steps to eliminate sources of temptation and sin in our life, removing them, running away from them, separating ourselves from them, not going where they even exist. And so integrity and honesty, he talks about in our speech, especially in this world of spin and hidden agendas. Followers are called to be people of their word, living with integrity, letting their yes mean yes and their no mean no. See, the harder, this trying harder attitude, this trying harder mentally or physically or legally, that is out. Now it's a move towards the most important thing, to surrender ourselves over to God's grace for transformation within, starting within, hitting at the root of the problem with the healing power of Christ Jesus that restores us to both God and community. So Godspeed to all of you.